Political polarization has completely destroyed dating here in America. The Pew Research study that I'm about to cite is 10 years old, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. In 1994, Democrats had a 68% unfavorable view of Republicans. That went up to 29% in 2004, 38% in 2014. According to Yahoo, over 91% of Democrats now say that they do not approve of the Republican Party. While in 2014, 27% of Democrats believed that Republicans were a threat to the country, it would not be too far-fetched to believe that the number is now around 50 to 70%. In 1994, 17% of Republicans had unfavorable views of the Democratic Party. This went up to 21% in 2004 and 43% in 2014. 36% of Republicans claim that Democrats were a threat to the country. Today, over 94% of Republicans disapprove of the Democratic Party, and I would also say that 50 to 70% of Republicans think that Democrats are a threat to the nation. In 1994, the political ideology split was 21% left, 49% center, and 30% right. It changed to 33, 49, and 18 in 2004, 34, 39, 17 in 2014, and 36, 37, 25 in 2021. That means that in 2021, people are on average 7% more left-wing, 9% less centrist, and 4% more Republican. In 1994, 64% of Republicans were more right-wing than the average Democrat. This went up to 70% in 2004 and 92% in 2014. For Democrats, it was 70, 68, and 94. Now that we understand how polarized the country is, let's look into how it can affect dating. Brookings.edu gives a good insight into the relationship status of all Americans. What I want to focus on is the age brackets that they provide. For people 65 and older, 39% of women and 29% of men say that they are single. For 50 through 60, it's 30% women, 28% men, and 30 through 49 is 17 women, 25 men. Overall, this is fairly decent and consistent. That is until you look at the 18 through 29 bracket, where 34% of women who fall under this bracket say that they are single, and an outrageous 63% of young men say that they are single. It is absolutely insane that a supermajority of young men can call themselves single. We can see how this has happened with a study done by InnerBody. 86.7% of Democrats are dating other Democrats, while only 5.2% of Democrats are dating Republicans. 76.9% of Democrats have fought with their partner over something political. 84.4% of Republicans are dating other Republicans, while only 7.8% of Republicans are dating Democrats. 84.6% of Republicans say that they have fought with their partner over something political. 67% of men and 62% of women say that they are open to having a relationship with someone with opposing views. But this obviously hasn't reflected reality, as over 80% of people only date amongst their party. 60.5% of people say that having opposing views is a deal breaker for them. 31.5% say they would immediately end the relationship if their partner has differing views. And with a poll from the New York Times in 2024, 70% of women support Kamala Harris, while 60% of men support Trump. So what can we learn about this? Our country is more polarized than ever. Today, people tend to only date people within their party. This is seen as most people would end their relationship if their partner had thought differently than them. Most women vote one way, while most men vote the other, creating an almost impossibility of future relationships working for anyone. And it is really a coincidence that 60% of men happen to vote in a way that women disagree with, while 60% of men also happen to be single. Our nation cannot be a happy nation if we put politics over love. Let's touch back into the economy. I want to talk about the selling and purchasing of assets. I know this is boring, but it's a good look into people's economic mental health. The assets I want to discuss are housing, land, stocks, and gold. Let's start off with the housing market. I know I already talked about this, so I'm going to keep it short and only provide new information. From 1980 to today, the number of houses in the United States is 87.7, 106, 116, 131, 140, and 143 million. With home prices, it's 66.4, 121, 172, 224, 338, and $423,000. People per house is 2.57, 2.34, 2.43, 2.35, 2.34, and 2.32. Houses sold between 2010 and today are 9.01, 4.83, and 2.9 million. That means the amount of money spent on housing was 2.2, 1.63, and 1.22 trillion between 2010 and today. So what does this data mean? It means that there are more houses being built than sold. There are enough houses being built to constantly have a family of 3, but less and less are buying homes as the prices for homes skyrocket. This means that as the selling value is going for the holder, it is out of budget for the seller, making it more difficult for people to buy houses. The only way to fix this is by having a housing market crash that sees home values crash, or build millions of cheap homes to try to bring the prices down. Overall, the only way to fix this is by creating a shock in the market. The value of land can also be looked at as a form of real estate. Between 1970 and today, land value was 0.19, 0.68, 1.17, 1.66, 2.15, 3.16, and $4.08 thousand. The amount of farmland between 2000 and today has been 954, 915, 893, and 878 million acres. The total value of the land is 1.57, 1.96, 2.82, and $3.58 trillion. This means with the growing scarcity of land, the value gets driven up. When land values go up, the cost of developing the land goes up. When the cost of developing the land goes up, the cost of the housing on the land goes up. And here we find ourselves with the problem of high housing prices. As I would love to come up with a solution to this, I really can't think of one. If we make it so it's harder to buy land, the land values will go up even more. If land is sold at a faster rate, then land value will skyrocket even faster than it already is. If you can think of anything, let me know in the comments. This section is very short, but it touches on a subject that many people care about. Between 1980 and today, the Nasdaq was 0.2, 0.3, 2.4, 2.6, 12.8, and $15,000. This means that if you invested $6,000 in a decade, the return on investment between 1990 and today would be 5,085, 33,650, 442, 23,149, and $988. I understand that a lot of people get mad when the stock market performs really good one period and then really bad in another, but investing in stocks is all just a gamble. You shouldn't get mad when you don't get what you were promised when gambling. Investing in stocks is gambling on the success of a company. I also wanted to touch on gold for a bit. Between 1970 and today, the value of gold was 0.03, 0.59, 0.37, 0.27, 1.4, 1.89, and $2.06 thousand. That means if you put the same amount of money as your stock investments, the return on investment would be 91,457, negative 2,183, negative 1,687, 25,866, 2,090, and $531. Just like stocks, investing in precious metals is just a gamble. So what's to learn from all this? Land is getting so expensive that it's starting to make it impossible for any people to buy homes, even if there's a great availability of homes. When it comes to investing, it is important to understand that investing is a gamble and not a guaranteed money printing machine.